If it's Monday night, oh yes, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyer here with you once again. Michael Bullock will be joining us a little late. I got a text from him a little while ago stating that he'll be coming in late. So we'll just catch him up on what he's missed. So instead of just waiting for him. So I'll keep an eye out for when he messages me. So joined as always by the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher. So yeah, very bizarre edition of Monday Night Raw indeed, as we were live from Laredo, Texas. So yeah, but without any further ado, let's dive right in. So yeah, starting things off with well, something I never something I never thought I'd really see, because when you think of Raw, you think of, oh, Seth Rollins or the Authority or blah 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 blah. No, this time around it was the Wyatts. Yeah, the Wyatt family was in the ring and they started it off with they cut a promo and then it was interrupted by Roman Reigns and then Dean Ambrose and then of course your boy Fletch, Randy Orton, making his way back. So yeah, let me just say it like this: it was great. I'm glad that we didn't get our usual 20-minute monologue of Seth Rollins saying how great he is and the Authority, stroking themselves on the back. I'm glad about that. But how great was this to see, a brawl, 6-man brawl? I mean, it was great. I mean, it's obvious that we're going to get another 6-man down the road. Orton's going to be in this one. We don't know when it will be. I don't know if it'll be on TV. I don't know if it's going to be on Hell in a Cell, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But to me, I got to say this was the second best segment of the night. I thought there was one that was better. Yeah. So that's really all there is to say about it. A very good opening segment, to say the very least. Another great promo by Bray Wyatt, and then Roman, challenging Bray to a one-on-one fight, and then the numbers game catches up. Ambrose comes down, and then see Randy Orton back, and yeah, so that's good stuff right there. So when those 6 throw down, yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be even better than what we saw last night with Jericho. So yes, and I gotta tell you, my man Braun Strowman, man, he's continuing to do what he does best, man. I mean, I'm loving his body of work. He continues to get better. I'm loving it. I mean, continuing to show you why he is that freak of nature, that 6'8", 385-pounder. So yeah, really loving his body of work right now, and I continue to be high on him, and he just shows you why I am high on him, and I will continue to be high on him. So all around, very good segment, to say the very least. So it was a very enjoyable segment. If it wasn't for the one segment I thought was better, I would have said this was the segment of the night. But there was one that was better, mainly because of something we don't see very often in the world of professional wrestling. Something so often that one thing that's so often that we don't see was something that is always very fun when and if it does happen. So I can't wait to get into that later on. But for right now, second best segment of the night for me. It's a 6-man. Orton's going to be in this one. He'll either be on TV or maybe Hell in the Cell. I don't know. We'll see. So with that said, Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, good old MF. Your thoughts on this rather surprising opening segment that did not feature Seth Rollins? Oh, we just lost Michael Fletcher. Okay, this is not good. All right. Hopefully we'll get him back in a matter of moments. So, Michael Bullock, of course, running late. Very rare. He runs late on a Monday night. I mean, normally I'm, doing, the Raw chat with him as we always do, but he wasn't there. So, yeah, I'm just waiting to hear back from him. So, all right. I'm just going to move on to our next segment here until Michael Fletcher comes back, and then I can just catch him up. So, okay, this Fletch. All right. Fletch, if you're all good to go, I'd like to get your thoughts on this opening segment that with a breath of fresh air, because it was not the Authority or Seth Rollins for a change.
Actually, it was not. Most definitely. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. For some odd reason, I had no audio. Florio, I couldn't hear you, so that's why I had to step out for a moment. Redesign everything, make sure that everything was working because I am actually using a brand new operating system. I just actually just downloaded or just uploaded Windows 10 a couple of days ago, so I'm still trying to work the kinks out. And no, I thought this was a very solid segment. I loved everything that went down. Um, the way that this started, the Wyatts look so damn good with the way that they, promoting their little power of fear and everything else. Roman Reigns comes out and is like, you know what? I ain't scared of you. I don't give two craps about anything you say or do. You want to go? Let's go. Let's fight. Next thing you know, it was a 3-on-1 beatdown. Dean Ambrose shows up, and then Randy Orton shows up, the Viper, and next thing we know, we had a little fun with that. So who knows? It might be Orton, Ambrose, and Roman Reigns versus the Wyatts now. And who knows? That might be the next fight we're gonna see at possibly the Hell in a Cell pay per view. So with that said, solid, solid, solid way to start Monday Night Raw. Anthony, let's move on.
All right. Moving on now to our first match of the night. It was a return match from last night from the pre-show of Night of Champions. It was Adrian Neville and the Lucha Dragons going up against the Cosmic Wasteland, Stardust and the Ascension. Last night it was Stardust and the Ascension winning the match. Not so much this time around. Lucha, and and Adrian Neville, they go over. Unfortunately, I don't have a time of the falls, so but we do know the winners were Adrian Neville and the Lucha Dragons getting their payback from last night. So, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this return match?
Right off the heels of everything that happened on last night, I should say everything that was off the heels of last night. A lot of people were wondering what were we gonna see, what were we gonna expect going into tonight. I'll say it like this: I thought it was an okay fight, not a big breath of fresh air. It was almost something similar to what we saw definitely last night at the Night of the Champions pre-show. The rating I could give it is maybe 1.5 to 2. I just don't think that it was anything that would have really stood out or say, okay, this was awesome or anything like that. This was definitely a 2-star fight in my eyes. There's really nothing more to say about it. So, Anthony, I just give it to you.
I think you underscored it just a little bit because I thought this was a solid match. I'm actually going to give it a solid 2.5 stars because I thought, there was some good action in this match. There were some nice moves in the match. There were some good near falls. But I'll be honest, I thought the match last night was better, to be honest. But nonetheless, solid matchup though. 2.5 stars. I'm not at all surprised that they gave the win back to Adrian Neville and the Luchas. So so yeah, I don't know. Is this feud far from over? We'll see. So there's really nothing left to say on that. So yeah, we're just gonna move on to our next matchup, and well, nope, still no word from Michael Bullock. Yeah, one-on-one match. It was the now former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, the big guy Ryback, going one-on-one with the inspirational Bo Dallas. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. Ryback won the winner of the match in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. It was Ryback. Um, yeah. I honestly don't. I want to say it's the second worst fight of the night, and it was the second worst fight of the night. I thought there was one that was actually worse than this. Hard to believe, but it was. Um, it's one of the lowlights of the night for sure. I could go as far as to say it was a dud, even though there was a little bit of some all right action. The most I could give it would probably be between half to one at the absolute best. Although I have every right to call it a dud, so dud to 1 star is all I can give this as far as I'm concerned. But then after the match, though, we got something a little bit better, and that was Kevin Owens, the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion. Kevin Owens coming in and attacking Ryback and doing a number on him. And there's no doubt about it. These two will meet again because Ryback has the rematch clause. So we're going to see these two go at it again. $1 million question is when, because we got so much time until Hell in a Cell, because Hell in a Cell is not until October 25th. So my guess is it could be a TV taping, or then again, maybe they could save it for Hell in a Cell. Heck, they could do it in Madison Square Garden if they want to on that big live show on October 3rd. So I don't know. It's a lot to make sense of right now. So, but other than that, though, dud to 1 star. But I can confirm it is the second worst fight of the night. There was one worse. So, Michael Fletcher, Ryback in Bo Dallas. Yeah, that put some butts in seats and eyes on the screens, huh?
1/4 I'm not gonna waste much time with this because I got something to say because the next thing was pretty freaking awesome. So let's just go right into it.
Oh yes. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with this one, baby. It was supposed to be a championship celebration for the brand new Divas champion Charlotte. Of course, first off, it all started with her father, my man, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, coming out and saying a few words. Crowd was very receptive towards him, and rightfully so. I mean, a lot of love and respect for that man, and also rightfully so because of everything he did. Only 2-time Hall of Famer of all time. He said his words, and then out comes Charlotte, along with Becky Lynch and Paige, of course, PCB. They came out, and Charlotte, said her piece, and of course, we had another emotional father-daughter moment with Charlotte and Ric Flair, and then, well, of course, Charlotte would say some nice words. Of course, Charlotte put over Becky Lynch, obviously, and then she put some words on Paige, and then Paige was like, "Oh, she's so nice, huh?" And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, out of the blue, Paige channeled her inner AJ Lee. A worked shoot promo. I said there was a rarity in the world of professional wrestling. There's nothing more rare than a worked shoot promo. Even though it doesn't officially say it was one, I thought it was one. And I know, Fletch, I know you consider it a work shoot promo as well, because, I mean, holy Christmas, did Paige go off. And because of that, this is the segment that I said there was one segment better than that opening segment with the Wyatts and Reigns and Ambrose and Orton. This was it. This was the segment of the night. I mean, and it's all because of Paige. Heel turn, it's obvious. PCB is no more. Well, you could really say PCB is now just CB now because of Charlotte and Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch is still in the corner of Charlotte Flair, obviously. So, man, Paige just went off, and she's saying, "Oh, the only reason you were there is because of your old man," and then she talked down to Becky Lynch, and then talked about the Bellas, and of course even said, "Hey, does Natalya even still work here?" She rips in the Natty, and she basically, she rips on Team Bella, the Bella Snobs, and Alicia Fox, and ripped on Team Bad, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina Snuka. Well, Tamina, we're not going to use the last name anymore. But nonetheless, wow. I thought it was going to be a great segment anyway, but man, oh man,
I thought I was supposed to lead off on this.
Oh, botchamania on my part. I'm sorry.
You're basically reeling off anything you wanted to say because you're the goddamn host tonight, aren't you?
I've had a very long day, to say the very least. In so many ways, trust me.
I'll say
rather personal.
You you basically were going the same route as I was going to go with, but I want to go one deeper, and I was going to go one level more because yes, this was a work shoot promo, but what Paige just did was she was talking the voices of the IWC. This was an IWC moment. She basically unveiled the velvet rope and basically went off on everybody. And she basically ripped on the Bellas for their, first she ripped on Team Bad, saying all flash, no substance. Let me just say this. I think we all could say BS on that because if you didn't see NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, New York, there was more than substance when it came to Sasha Banks. Now, if you want to talk about Tamina with flash no substance, I can give you that. A lot of people slams Tamina for her wrestling ability. Then they ripped on, Naomi, but Naomi, she was one of the top stars, but I think she's being held back by WWE. Let's be real honest about that one. So we can't really say Naomi there. As far as Lana and Summer goes, they're too busy trying to figure out who they want to jump. Now, whoa. Okay, that's a personal shot because that was a burn. I mean, let's be real, be blunt about that one. That was an absolute burn of a shot. I mean, first, Lana's out for about practically 4 to 5 months with the broken collarbone in her shoulder. She had to have surgery. She's out for about 5 months, guys. So she's done for 2015. We already said that. And as far as fun as Summer Rae goes, I mean, she hasn't wrestled in how long now? She's been more of a valet, which is probably she's better off as a valet than an actual professional wrestler. So let's go there. Now we said, well, what about Natalya? Now, okay, Natalya's been out of the ring, but she's been on Superstars. She's been on main event shows. So it's not like she's been irrelevant. It's that she just been, outside of she hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown because of the fact that, they probably have nothing for her right now. But they still keep her active. She still fights. She does house shows. So, and if anything, Natalya is probably one of the best female women's wrestlers out there. Then she takes the shot at the Bellas, saying, we know the real reason why they're on top. Wink, wink. We all know. Daniel Bryan, John Cena, need I say more? And then she rips on Charlotte by saying, the only reason why you're the champion is because of your old man. Whoa. That was, you want to talk about burn in a hat. That started a fight. And boys, I think we got ourselves a new number one contender for the Divas Championship with that one. Yes, I know Nikki Bella is like, oh, I want a prerogative, and I'm gonna get my shot at the Divas title soon enough, and I'm gonna get the belt back. Quite frankly, you ain't getting the belt back. You're not winning that title shot. And if you do, the IWC is going to go absolutely cataclysmic on WWE. And then once again, we're going to know the reason why she gets the belt back. I don't even need to say anything more than that. Paige took a page out of the AJ Lee playbook. But then again, finally, somebody said, you know what? I was the reason why of the Diva Revolution, because before any of you little rugrats decided to show up, I was calling for a revolution. I was pushing for a revolution. If you remember, I was the one that had to deal with the Bella bull crap before all this happened. So now all of a sudden, you come in and you want to ride my coattails just because you're the new champion that I need to bow down to you? Go screw yourself. I'm the real biatch here. I'm the real Diva Revolution. And like she's always said, this is my house. And I'm not going to let anybody get in my way now. So, yeah, I'm not going to be all lovey-dovey just because of the fact that you're the new Divas champion. Screw that. I want my shot. I want an opportunity. So when my time comes, I'm going to become, if I'm correct, a 3-time Divas champion. So what Paige did was basically she put the entire division on notice. Is this a heel turn? You bet your ass this is a heel turn. And this was a turn for the best because Paige as a heel is oh so deliciously good. And I love the way she did it, the demeanor she brought to it. I felt her rage. I felt her her rip. And it came out so damn good. And that's why I believe this was not only the segment of the night, but this definitely goes up there as non-wrestling segment of the year. Now, it might not be the non-wrestling segment of the year because there's plenty of candidates for that. But as far as it being, at least in the top 5, at least in top 3, top 5, this goes here tonight. Without a doubt. No argument from me. Anthony, you can continue on your thought.
Yeah, I do apologize for that, Michael Fletcher. Botchamania, a rare botchamania on my part there, but nonetheless, I guess you could just say the reason for my botchamania. Well, a couple of reasons. One, long day, and two, I'll tell you what. I guess I got caught up in the moment. You always say I'm a prisoner of the moment. Well, you better believe I was a prisoner of the moment tonight. I mean, that was the best work shoot promo I've seen since AJ. Since AJ, a couple of years ago, ripped on the Bellas and Total Divas and all that good stuff. When we started that Total Diva versus anti-Total Diva thing a couple of years ago. But man, I mean, it was one thing to see Charlotte and Ric Flair have their moment, but Paige, though, wow. I mean, that was incredible. I mean, I know you loved it. I know Derek Ferrera loved it, because being the Paige mark that he is. And I am hopeful that Mr. Michael Bullock will join us soon enough, because I really want to get his thoughts on this segment tonight. But nonetheless, though, just a fantastic, so damn fun to watch. And yeah, that was, wow. I mean, isn't it always fun whenever there's a work shoot promo comes out of nowhere? I mean, we've seen these come out of nowhere. I mean, go back to 2006 when Joey Styles cut his work shoot promo. I mean, that was a work of art. Right around the time they were starting their version of ECW, which, let's face it, wasn't really as good as we thought it would be. And then, of course, CM Punk with the infamous pipe bomb promo in Las Vegas in the summer of 2011. We'll never forget that. And look what happened with him. He took off. And then, of course, his wife, AJ Lee, 2 years later, with the work shoot promo she did on the Total Divas. So, a Paige tonight with that work shoot promo, fantastic. And now, like I said, PCB is no more. It's just CB. So, yeah, well done, Paige. I mean, I can honestly say that's the best promo Paige has ever cut, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So, well done. Well done. I mean, she was a star of that segment, no doubt, even though it was awesome seeing that great moment with Charlotte and Ric Flair. But, man. Whew. And you're right, Fletch. It's not the segment of the year. Absolutely not. Segment of the year, as far as I'm concerned, as of right now, was, of course, the infamous brawl with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. from 2 months ago. So that's just my opinion. So all right. All right, if we're but Charlotte, just like us, we had to regroup because Charlotte had to now go into a match against Brie Bella, of course, with Nikki and Fox. Winner of the match in 9 minutes and 20 seconds, it was Charlotte Flair, getting the victory again, 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Fletch, shall I just let you take this one since I messed up? Or do you want me to?
If you want me to take it, I'm more than willing to take it. I definitely have a few things I want to say about the fight. That's fine. I'll say.
Go ahead.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. I will go like this. This was a 2-star fight. I mean, was it anything spectacular? Absolutely not. But it was definitely. I don't want to say it was really reminiscent of last night's fight between Nikki and Charlotte, but what it was that you definitely saw Brie working on that injured leg, trying to soften her up because of the fact that she did suffer that injury last week, last night. So you kind of had to feel like the leg was still a little vulnerable. She probably didn't get it's not fully healed. So I could see where this is coming, and everything else. So the next thing we know, the match is a consistent, nice little fight and everything else. But at the end, Charlotte gets the figure 8 and the tap out victory. So, I mean, it's a good direction. It's not anything amazing. It's not anything that would say, holy cow, this was the greatest thing ever. I mean, it was good for what it was worth. I think, they're just going to try to work Charlotte in, get that little, get everybody all fired up because she is now the champ. And now we're going to see what she does. Now she's got competition. She's going to have to put the title on the line against Nikki Bella. It's almost a given now. Paige is now in the mix because of the fact the rip job she just did tonight. And then plus there was a little something extra added. I know we're not going to get into it, but there was a backstage segment tonight between Natalya and Paige where she said, the only thing that's stopping you is you. So I think that pretty much just fired everything up, in my opinion. And I believe now we're going to see, where I believe now we're going to see a more vicious, a different side of Paige. So now Charlotte Flair is going to have at least 2 contenders she's going to have to deal with. Not alone the rest of the Diva division. But, for the fight itself, I'll give it 2 stars. And then the possibility is now even higher than ever before with the rest of the division. Who knows how that's going to play out. But with that said, Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Yeah, I owed you one there, Flesh, because of my botchamania. So, but anywho, here we are. I'll agree. A solid 2-star fight. Fine for what it was. Yeah, you made all the great points. I mean, Brie Bella, working on the leg that Nikki worked on last night. And then Charlotte Flair, pulling out another gutsy victory. And you're absolutely right. Nikki's going to be the next challenger, obviously, because she's got the rematch clause. So that's most likely going to be Charlotte's first title defense whenever they decide to do it. My guess is it's going to be on TV because I'm thinking Hell in a Cell. We're going to have a match with it. I think that's when we're going to see Charlotte defend against Paige, and then we're going to start a title feud between Charlotte and Paige, which could be quite interesting, to be quite honest with you. And then the other big question is, where will Becky Lynch factor into this equation? So we'll have to wait and see on that. So, but nonetheless, solid 2-star match. That's the best we can go. So, yeah, let's just move on to our next match of the night, which was Mr. Money in the Bank and the Celtic Warrior Sheamus going one-on-one with the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Winner of the match in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. It was Sheamus. Yeah, this was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. I mean, this was basically, I hate to say it, this was basically a dud enhancement fight for Sheamus. And, you got to feel for Mark Henry, man, because, here's a guy who's been there almost 20 years. We made his debut right around this time, man, back in 1996. Made his debut, of course. Well, he technically made his debut at SummerSlam that year, but his first in-ring match, Michael Fletcher, you know this because you have this event in your collection, the In Your House Mind Games in Philadelphia when he went up against Jerry the King Lawler, and as I recall, he went over in that match. So, I think about everything he's done. All the championships he's won. I believe he was a tag champion at one point. I do believe he was a European champ as well, a former ECW champion, and then of course the world heavyweight champion. 4 years ago, had a solid run with it, held for about 3 months. So it's obvious that his career is definitely winding down. And I even read a dirt sheet recently stating that Mark Henry could. He's actually thinking about calling it a career sometime after WrestleMania 32, or even at WrestleMania 32. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So I hate to say it, but Mark Henry's. I think Mark Henry's. The good days of Mark Henry are just about coming to an end, and it's a shame because he was one of the better big men that we've seen in a long time. So that's basically all I can say about it. But obviously, this was a showcase for Sheamus. Obviously, give him some momentum after that. Failed cash in at Night of Champions. I mean, we all thought it was going to happen, but then unfortunately, Kane put an end to that. So that's all there is to say about that. Absolute dud, far and away the worst fight of the night. Absolute showcase squash for the Celtic Warrior and Mr. Money in the Banks. So, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on Sheamus and Mark Henry?
Yeah, this was definitely the worst fight of the night. There's really nothing to really speak of, or even to save this what I believe was a horrific segment. It's almost like a wow type factor because of the fact that we all kind of was going into it thinking, what could it been, or what we were kind of looking for. But then at the end, it was just one of those moments, and you were just thinking like, what the heck are you doing, WWE? But it is what it is. Things do happen, but it was a nice. Like I said, it's a nice victory for Sheamus. He gets a little bit of a momentum, but it didn't really matter. It didn't really care one bit for the rest of us. So with that said, let's just move on.
All right. Yeah. Now that we got that out of the way, let's see. Yeah, backstage stuff. Yeah, we're not gonna really get into that. So so with that said, let's move on to our next match. It was a 6-man tag team match. It was those damn Dudleys, and Dolph Ziggler going up against Rusev in the New Day. Xavier Woods and Summer Rae in the corners of Rusev and New Day. Winners of the match in 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Rusev and the New Day going over. So with that said, Michael Fletcher, your thoughts on this 6-man?
I thought this was actually a really good fight. I could actually go as far to say this was practically maybe the second, third best fight of the night, in my opinion. I thought that the match itself was pretty solid for what it was worth. It had a little bit of the back and forth stuff, which was really good. And I love the interchange of everything that went down. Yeah, it started out a little slow for the most part, but it did get a little better throughout the fight, and it really cranked up at the end Yeah, there was a little bit of chicanery. I mean, I wish Xavier Woods did not jump up on the apron, but he did get super kicked for his trouble. The trombone and flying summer ray catched it in midair. But the next thing you know, before Ziggler could even turn around, he basically got lit up with a super kick of his own, right in his face for a 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean the ending was a little bit of a what the heck, but the fight itself was actually really good. I mean, this could have been this could have been in my eyes the fight of the night if it wasn't for that walkie finish. But I'm going to give it between 2 and 3/4 of a star to 3 full stars and call it the second best fight of the night for me. This was my second best fight of the night. Like Anthony said, there was one better. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I thought this was a tremendous match. 3 stars is my rating. Anthony, go.
100% agree with you, Flex. This was the second best fight of the night. I agree with you on that. Solid 3 stars indeed. I mean, very good action throughout. I mean, some good near falls as well. Um, yes, Mr. Woods was distracting again with the trombone, driving me up the freaking wall. Even though I know some fans get a kick out of it, I don't. To be honest with you, I think it's a little on the campy comedy side of things, but still, nonetheless, though, it was still a very, very enjoyable match to say the very least. And how about Rusev getting one back on Dolph Ziggler? You know, after Ziggler knocked him off last night at Night of Champions, and remember, I said that fight was the second best fight of the night and a sleeper fight of the night. I mean, I never thought I'd say that, but it was true. I mean, that fight was absolutely awesome in my eyes because there was definitely a good amount of there was a decent amount of Shakespearean drama in that fight. You know how much we love that around here. But but yeah, Fletch, you were right. I mean, I think it's I think it's clear as day. The Ziggler Rusev feud is far from over. I think that's pretty much a given, and definitely the same thing for the Dudleys and the New Day. In fact, the Dirt Sheet came out earlier today, stating that there is a possibility, and that the New Day and the Dudleys will have their rematch at Hell in a Cell for the tag team titles in a tables match, but it's not confirmed by any means. But but considering the current storyline and the finish of the match at Night of Champions, it definitely makes a lot of sense. So yeah, 3 stars. I definitely agree with Michael Fletcher on that one. It was definitely the second best fight of the night. So with that said, we're just going to move on to our next match, and well, another Divas fight. This time we had Team Bad member Naomi accompanied to the ring by Sasha Banks and Tamina, going one-on-one with, wait, what's this? Natalya. All right. Great to see Natty back in action. All right. Yeah. Nobody more happier than I am, considering that I am the Hart family Marco of our group. To me, are two of the most athletically gifted divas I've ever seen in all the years I've watched / covered professional wrestling. Ugh, you only give them 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah, I got a problem with that, to be honest with you. I mean, despite it only being 3:45, it was still a solid match for what it was. Um, I'm going to give it a solid 1.25 to 1.5 stars for the effort because there was some good action there. The gripe I have, though, way, way too short for my liking. These two divas deserve so much better, considering how good these two are. Turn them loose, give them at least 10 minutes, and I'm a happy guy. But after this, I'm not a happy guy. It's not because Natalya lost. I mean, I'm not at all surprised by that. I mean, I knew Naomi was going over. And of course, it was because of her cohorts, Sasha Banks and Tamina. But, dude, Fletch, these two divas, Naomi and Natalya, so damn good. These two can wrestle. I mean, you talked about it last night on our recap show. I definitely remember what you said from last night. You said how you were sick of, how you were happy about Charlotte winning the title, and it was great to have an actual wrestling diva with the Divas Championship and not some Barbie doll supermodel. Last time I checked, neither Naomi or Natalya are Barbie doll supermodels. These two girls can wrestle. They really can. If you want us to take this Divas Revolution seriously, you give these two divas, especially Naomi and Natalya, with the outstanding body of work of both of them. You give them much better than that. 3 minutes and 45 seconds on TV. That's it. Give me a break. 1.25 to 1.5 stars. Michael Fletcher, how do you follow that?
By following it with a Pearl Harbor job. 1 star is my rating for the fight, and this was an absolute sham. I cannot believe the WWE disrespected Naomi and Natalya in this fight, because that's what I felt this was. Disrespectful of the highest order, and this really got under my skin more than anything else. You got 2 really good wrestling women in the ring, and you give them less than 4 minutes. Unfreaking believable is what I say about that fight. I'm absolutely I'm disgusted more than anything else with that turnout, with that outcome. But I will say this: there is going to be a little bit of a payoff because of the fact that if you look about it, or if you think about it, Anthony, think about this. Team PCB lost their member. I mean, they're no longer Team PCB because of the fact that, Paige did leave. And now it looks like you really kind of need to be aligned like a team. Forces is going to work your way to being the best. I could actually see Natalya teaming up with Becky Lynch and Charlotte, be like that mother figure for them, or maybe down the line, maybe a teen NBC. Yeah, I definitely think so. Now, you got to be a little careful with the NBC because of the fact that, it actually would work because, NBC Universal actually does do their programming. USA Network is a part of NBC Universal, shows Monday Night Raw, and NBC Universal Network Sci-Fi does show SmackDown. So, I mean, WWE and NBC Universal kind of has this nice little loving relationship. I mean, Teen NBC would actually work. It would sound pretty nice. I could see that. Or maybe could this be a moment where maybe down the line they reform or probably bring in the 4th member of the 4 Horsewomen, meaning the NXT Women's Champion herself, Bayley? I mean, and then do a Team BBC. I mean, you could do that too. Now I know that all our friends up in the UK is probably going a little jumpy right now because I just said that. But I mean, there's a scenario where we can go with this, but I mean, right now the fight itself was a 1-star fight. I'm sorry, I gotta give it like that. And now that we got Michael Bullock in the house, Bullock, you got a lot to cover. You gotta go from the beginning of the show all the way up to the Naomi versus Natalya fight. So it's all yours, man.
Well, I'm gonna start him off. Let me start him off. First off, the Phenom Michael Bullock has joined us. Glad he's here. So, all right, Mr. Bullock. We'll take it one at a time, and because we got a lot of time here, we got plenty of time. So, we're going to start you off with the in-ring segment, which was a very surprising one, considering it was not the Authority or Seth Rollins, much to our delight. It was the Wyatt family segment that was interrupted by Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Randy Orton. So, and then the brawl ensued. So, Michael Bo, let's get your thoughts on the opening segment.
All right. Well, first off, hello, friends. This is the Phenom Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. As far as this opening segment goes, I thought this was a good segment. I mean, what can you say about Bray Wyatt? He's one of the best talkers in the WWE right now. I mean, basically talking about what happened at Night of Champions last night when they beat Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Chris Jericho, and then of course Roman Reigns basically comes on out and basically challenges Bray Wyatt to a fight just between him and Bray Wyatt, and we do get a little bit of back and forth going between the two at the beginning, and then here comes Luke Harper and Braun Strowman again, and just when it looked like it wasn't looking good for Roman Reigns, and then out comes the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose, and then things weren't looking good, and then out comes the Viper, Randy Orton. He's back, and I know Mike Fletcher was doing that Randy Orton pose when he came out and basically starts going after Bray Wyatt and basically starts beating the crap out of him, and then Harper pulls Randy Orton off of Bray Wyatt, and then of course Orton hits that back suplex to Harper, and then basically Randy Orton then gets a little bit of a beating from Braun Strowman, and then of course and then basically Dean Ambrose flies from the top rope onto Braun Strowman, and then a drop kick from Randy Orton, and then the Superman punch. So I thought this was a good segment here to start off this edition of Monday Night Raw. So that being said, Florio, let's move on to the first that first match that I'll talk about.
Yeah, it was the 6-man tag team match, the return match from the Night of Champions pre-show. Adrian Neville and the Lucha Dragons against the Cosmic Wasteland, with the Luchas and Adrian Neville going over. So your thoughts on that return match?
All right, I thought it was what was the time of the fall?
Unfortunately, I didn't get that. It doesn't have it on my notes here.
All right, so I thought this was a solid match here. I'm gonna give it maybe 2.5 stars when it comes 2 to 2.5 stars for this match. I mean, I thought this was a really good match for what it was, and and of course the surprise outcome. The surprise, of course, from last night with the kickoff. I thought it wasn't going to be anything good, but it turned out to be a good match as well. So so I think with the Cosmic Wasteland getting the win last night, you knew Neville and the Luchas were going to get the win here tonight. So, so 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating. So let's move on to the next match. And what is that next match?
That is, bear with me here. Oh yeah, it was the former Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Ryback going up against the inspirational Bo Dallas. Ryback winning the match in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. So your thoughts on this, Mr. Bullock?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can't take it, face?
Yep, you just saw it. Ugh. I don't know what to say about this match, but this was an absolute dud. This is one of the worst fights of the night. Obviously, they wanted to give the win back to Ryback after after losing, of course, after losing the Intercontinental title to Kevin Owens last night. So yeah, so well then basically Kevin Owens basically comes out during the match, and yeah, so and then of course Kevin Owens comes into the ring and stomps on Ryback, and then Ryback fights back and basically basically knocks him to the outside. So yeah, of course, eventually we're going to get a rematch with Ryback and Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental title. When? Maybe at Hell in a Cell, but we'll have to wait and see on that. So, absolute dud. Not going to get into any more details on this match. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on to the next segment.
Oh, and Mr. Bullock, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about this, because Michael Fletcher and we had a moment during this. I had a rare Botchamania moment, which I'd rather not get into. But if you watch the video back, you'll see where my Botchamania comes in. I don't want to get into that, but nonetheless, it was the championship celebration for Charlotte. Ric Flair was there. He was there to promote, Charlotte, get her, bring her out, and then all of a sudden, Paige just absolutely goes off and does something for the first time, and something we haven't seen in a long time, and that is cut a work-shoot promo. So Michael Bullock, and then of course Charlotte had to go one-on-one with Brie Bella. So Michael Bullock, I want to get your thoughts on not just the segment, but also the match with Charlotte and Brie Bella. Make it a 2-for-1 here.
I was just gonna say this is probably a 2-for-1 here. So yeah, hold on just a minute. I mean, I thought this was a. I'm gonna say this was the segment of the night here. If I'm gonna be quite honest here. So yeah, yeah. Hold on, I'm trying to. I mean, yeah, it was basically a celebration. What was supposed to be a celebration for Charlotte, of course, capturing the Divas Championship last night, ending Nikki Bella's 301-day reign as the Divas Champion. So yeah, well, basically, first off, we get Ric Flair at first, and basically then he introduces Charlotte, and then of course once again they have that moment, and then has a nice little celebration, and then all of a sudden Paige was saying, "Oh, this is always so nice, and this is nice that Charlotte won the title and that the celebration's for her, but let's just think about who really made it possible. I did." And basically saying, "Yeah, you won it, but you know what? Your title reign is going to end. Nikki is going to get her rematch and her happy sister and her third wheel, and the title will go right back where it was. There is no revolution. And that, Charlotte, you're just a placeholder." And then basically Paige tells Becky Lynch to back off the whole time, and then she said that Becky will never be champion because she is the least relevant of them all. And then she basically is like, "What about Team Bad? All flash, no substance. What about Lana and Summer? They're too busy trying to figure out who they want to jump. And where's Natty? And let's go to the Bellas. We all know the real reason why they're at the top. We all know. And basically, the only reason Charlotte has the title is because of her old man." And then she basically drops the mic and walks out. And as soon as I heard this, I was like, "Damn, Paige, tell us how you really feel." Well, the Bellas basically come out, cut a little promo, and yeah, so. And then when it comes to the Charlotte and Brie Bella, I thought this was a fine match here. I'm going to give it maybe about 1.5 to 2 stars as my rating for the fight. So yeah, so I thought the match was good for what it was. So with that being said, Floria, let's move on.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the time of the fall was 9 minutes and 20 seconds with Charlotte going over Brie Bella, but nonetheless, our next match, Mr. Bullock, for you to catch up on, it was Sheamus one-on-one with Mark Henry. Sheamus winning the match in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I already know we were going with it, but just put us out of our misery anyway.
Yeah, absolute dud. Another one of the worst fights of the night. I'm not going to get into any more detail on this crap mess of a match. Another big man fight. Really could give two you-know-whats about it. So, really got nothing else to say except let's just move on.
And moving on, and then, yeah, we had some backstage stuff back there, but, of course, next match, Mr. Bullock, 6-man tag team match. Those damn Dudleys and Dolph Ziggler going up against Rusev and the New Day. Rusev and the New Day going over in 14 minutes and 15 seconds, and I just remembered this. When is that tag team rematch going to be? Well, Saturday night, October 3rd, Madison Square Garden, the big live show on the WWE Network. The New Day and those damn Dudleys will have their rematch for the WWE Tag Team Championships. So, Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts on the 6-man. Rusev and the New Day winning in 14 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah, I thought this was a very good 6-man tag team match. I thought the match was good for what it was, and I'm going to say maybe I'm going to go 3 to maybe even 3.5 stars as my rating. I thought the match was good, and I mean, the action was good, and the thing I really got a kick out of was after they do a double suplex to Rusev, both Dudley boys grab a leg of Rusev, and basically they do the "What's up?" and then Devon basically it's a clothesline to Kofi Kingston, and then of course Rusev then hits the super kick and gets the 1-2-3. So yeah, so as far as this match goes at the tag team title rematch at the Madison Square Garden event on the WWE Network, I think this could be a good match, and I'm hoping it's better than what we saw last night at Night of Champions. And I'm going to make a bold statement. I think that's the night that the New Day is going to lose the tag team titles to the Dudley boys. So really got nothing else to say except let's move on to our next match.
Yeah, we'll definitely get more into that tag team title rematch from MSG in the weeks to come. But let's see. I believe after this, you'll be all caught up, Michael Bullock. Our second Divas match, Team Bad member Naomi, along with Sasha Banks and Tamina in her corner, going up against, Natalya. How about it? Naomi wins the match in 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So, Mr. Bullock, your thoughts on Naomi and Natalya?
And unfortunately, I hate to say this, I can't believe I'm going to be saying this for the first time in a long time. I'm going to say this was a typical ho-hum diva fight. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. But I thought there was some alright action here. I'm going to give it 1 star for the effort. But hey, it's good to see Natalya back. Really got nothing more to say except now let's move on.
All right, and you're all caught up now, Mr. Bullock, because now we're all ready to go here. So our next match apologize for a little pop-up there. All right, next match we're going to get into, it was The Big Show, one-on-one with Cesaro, and the winner of the match in 6 minutes and 20 seconds, it was The Big Show. And I believe I let off on the last segment, so before Michael Bullock came, I believe when it was me and you, Fletch, I believe I let off on Naomi and Natalya. So I believe, Michael Bullock, the ball's in your court again. So The Big Show and Cesaro. Let's get your thoughts on it. You lead it off.
All right. As far as this match goes, yeah, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, this was a slow match. But I thought there was some okay action here for what it was, and I'm gonna give it 1 star for the effort. And yeah, basically, the action was good for what it was, and basically the Big Show, looked like Cesaro basically gets back up, and then all of a sudden he hits a KO punch on Cesaro and gets the 1-2-3, and then afterwards he basically gets on the mic and then he basically points down to Cesaro and says, basically he's sending a message to Brock Lesnar, because let's not forget, boys, at that same event at Madison Square Garden on the WWE Network, it's going to be the Big Show going up against Brock Lesnar, and he basically says, you know what, this is going to be you, Brock, and I want to refresh your memory. And this is, of course, going back to 2002, where basically the Big Show won the WWE Championship from him at Madison Square Garden the night when at Survivor Series, and basically saying that, oh, Brock Lesnar knows he can't stand me, so it says, you know what, I'm not going to Suplex City. Basically, when I knock your ass out, you're going to be thinking you're in hell when I'm done with you. So yeah, and I'll tell you this right now, I'm hoping that this match is better than the one we got back at the Royal Rumble in 2014. So yeah, so 1 star for the effort. Fletcher, it's yours.
1 star, no doubt about it. I didn't really care too much about this fight as well. I could go a little more further about it, but I don't think it really needs much explaining or much of anything. It was just Big Show getting a big win, and now he's on his way to making a big splash on his own, because now he gets a shot at the big guy. He gets Brock Lesnar at the Garden. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Initially, I was going to give it 1.5 to 2, but I think you boys convinced me. So I'll make it unanimous and give it 1 as well. Even though I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest with you. But, Big Show going over. Obviously, they want to give him some momentum going into the Lesnar fight at Madison Square Garden on October 3rd. And which should be a rather interesting fight, to say the very least. And I gotta say, the post-match promo by Big Show was really good. I thought his promo afterwards was solid, very good. I mean, I liked how he brought up the history. I loved how he brought up the '02 Survivor Series, which was also from Madison Square Garden, when he took the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar, although he had help from Paul Heyman. But when Heyman, that was when, of course, Heyman turned on Lesnar. So I loved how Big Show put that over. And speaking of Lesnar, of course, many of you know he's going to be going up against The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on October 25th in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. I just came across a dirt sheet explaining the reasoning for that. And the reasoning for that is plans have changed for WrestleMania 32. They were initially going to do this fight at WrestleMania 32, but they changed plans. You know what I always say, guys. Read into that what you will. Or as Derek Ferrera, our hardcore pipe bomb, would say, take it with a grain of salt. So yeah, I just wanted to pass that along since Lesnar's name was brought up. So yeah, definitely interesting. WrestleMania plans changing, and that's why they're doing this Hell in a Cell match at Hell in a Cell. So what could those plans for WrestleMania 32 be? Well, we got a lot of time to figure that. We got about another 6.5 months or so to figure that sucker out. So, all right, 1 star for the effort. Another one of the worst fights of the night. So, all right, we're just gonna move on to our next matchup, and Michael Fletcher, you're going to be leading it off on this. Actually, I believe it's main event time, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It is main event time. It was the rematch for the United States Heavyweight Championship. John Cena defending against Seth Rollins. Winner and still United States Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. He wins the match, 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Michael Fletcher, Rollins and Cena, did they deliver again?
They delivered again. Fight of the night. 3 stars is my 3 to 3.5 stars is my rating for this fight. And this was a good match. I mean, I love the fact that Cena did win it. He keeps the United States Heavyweight Championship, which is at least great news for all of us because that now means that the John Cena United States Open Challenge is definitely back on. He will be a fighting champion. He'll put that belt on the line each and every week. And that's one thing that we all kind of are very excited about. But then, there is one other thing that also happened as well. Corporate Kane did show up on the Titantron after the fight was over and said, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be going on. You got to be a well-prepared fighting champion because a lot of people are going to be gunning for you. And, people that you may know, people you may not know, people that, definitely has an axe to grind. The next thing you know, the pyro explodes, the hellfire and brimstone happened, and the next thing you know, the demon came out underneath the ring and grabbed Seth Rollins and pulled him under the ring. The next thing you know, the 4-post explodes with a fireball, and smoke is billowing out from the underneath the ring. Fellas, I started marking out. I had goosebumps because of the fact that this was not the first time we've seen the Brothers of Destruction pull somebody under the ring. As a matter of fact, it's become a common occurrence that somebody goes under. And where did they go? Ooh, I'll tell you one thing, there must have been one hell of a fight underneath the ring. Lord knows what might have happened. I'll tell you one thing, I think Triple H and Stephanie is probably freaking the heck out because they just realized the future of their business, the future of the WWE, just went straight to hell. Night night, Seth Rollins. I hope you can get a good night's sleep after this. 3 stars, 3 to 3.5 stars. My fight of the night, Anthony, go.
Once again, I agree with you, Michael Fletcher. It is indeed the fight of the night, without a doubt. I'm actually going to give it between 3.25 to 3.5 stars, to be honest with you. No doubt about it, this was the fight of the night. I mean, far and away. I mean, Cena and Rollins, another fantastic match, another great match with some great near falls. Definitely that lick of Shakespearean drama was in the air, without a doubt. And yeah, no big surprise. Cena went over. We knew that was going to happen, and then Kane comes out and comes up through the ring and pulls Seth Rollins underneath. And then who knows? God knows what happened after that. So I think it's very obvious. I mean, we already know one match that's official for Hell in a Cell. That being, of course, the Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. I think it's safe to say we're going to have another match for Hell in a Cell. It may not be official now, but I wouldn't be surprised if as early as next week this will end up becoming official. I think we have Seth Rollins' next challenger for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the Demon Kane. So book it, guys. Seth Rollins versus Kane, WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Hell in a Cell in Los Angeles at the Staples Center on October 25. And that will not be the main event because I think we already know what is going to be the main event. The Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. It has to. It must be the main event. I'm just saying. 3.25 to 3.5 stars Fight of the night, another classic from John Cena and Seth Rollins. What else is new? Their chemistry is undeniable, just like the three of us. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the main event?
Yeah, I'll give it 3.5 stars, and this was definitely the fight of the night. Once again, they put on these two guys put on another really good match, and like you said, the chemistry with these two is so good in the ring, and it's always got a chance of being fight of the night, and certainly was. It was the fight of the night last night at Night of Champions, and once again, it was the fight. It was the fight of the night here on this edition of Raw. So, yeah, a lot of great action in this one. A lot of good back and forth, and yeah, John Cena gets the win, retains the U.S. title, and then Kane shows up on the Titantron, basically telling Seth Rollins to be careful and who might come after him, and then the Demon Kane shows up in the bottom of the ring and pulls him straight to hell. Man, oh man. I mean, who knows what goes on down there. But either way, we know what's going to happen. Of course, we already know at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, we got Undertaker and Brock Lesnar inside Hell in a Cell, and I agree as well, even though I already said in my bold statement that that match should be the main event. But I think we also know it's going to end up being Kane against Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at Hell in a Cell. I think maybe we'll get that official announcement next week on Raw, but we'll have to wait and see. But we know it's going to happen. So, fight of the night, 3.5 stars. So, Florio, let's move on to overall thoughts.
What happens underneath the ring stays underneath the ring. That's all there is to say on that. But all right.
Yeah, whether it's the Kane pulling someone down into the ring, or if it's from the Undertaker.
Yeah, just ask Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash, and he'll tell you firsthand from that In Your House in Louisville.
Or ask Kane himself, because remember, during their feud back in 2010, it was after Kane lost to Randy Orton. There was a little chicanery, and then all of a sudden, Undertaker pops up from the bottom of the ring and basically pulls Kane right to the bottom, and then who knows what happens there.
Edge went through the hole too. He got chokeslammed through the hole.
Yeah,
and oddly enough, inside Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, SummerSlam 2008. Well, what about the Big Show? Well, no. What about Taker himself? Because remember, the Big Show chokeslammed Taker through the ring on that Monday Night Raw in Boston, all the way back in '99. I mean, who would forget that?
Or what about it that what was it, that In Your House Canadian? No, not Canadian. No, In Your House International incident where Mankind pulled the Undertaker into the bottom of the ring, and then the Undertaker pops from it.
Yeah, I know Michael Fletcher remembers that, because I know International Incident was one of his favorite pay-per-view events of all time. I know the stories he's told me about it, right?
International Incident has to go down as one of the top 5 In Your House pay-per-views that I've ever seen. That event from the GM place in Vancouver was absolutely probably one of the best that I've ever seen. Like I agree with that, Anthony. Yeah.
And there's one more. I was thinking of. Remember when Kane attempted to pull Brie Bella down?
Ooh.
That's right.
About a year ago, yeah.
Daniel Bryan had to save her.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan had to save her because she almost went under. She almost
experienced hell.
Yeah, that was. I believe that was on the road to the Extreme Rules fight those two had.
Yeah.
So,
imagine if Kane would have done it and actually pulled her under.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness. I don't even want to think about it.
That would have been. Think about it. That would have been bad, fellas. We've always said we don't talk about under the ring. We never explain it. Imagine the chaos that would have ensued if she would have gone under.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Those are just some of the things I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. And I'm glad we did. So, And to close the In Your House discussion, to me, another one of the great In Your Houses was also in Canada, the Canadian Stampede In Your House. That was one of my favorites. So mainly because of that main event, that 10-man tag. But story for another day. We could do a whole video on our favorite events someday. But for right now, overall review time here on this edition of the Wrestling Forum, and I'm going to start it off. Guys, remember, right around the start of the summer or so, and throughout the summer, we were getting spoiled with consistently awesome episodes of Monday Night Raw. Remember that?
Yeah.
We haven't had that in a while, and tonight was no exception. It did another average, mediocre, solid but unspectacular edition of Monday Night Raw tonight. Best I can go is 5.5 to 6 out of 10 tonight. To be honest with you, I know I might be overscoring that, but John Cena and Seth Rollins stole the show as the fight of the night. That's not a big surprise. Solid 3.5 stars on that. Second best fight, I probably would have to say that 6-man with the Dudleys and Ziggler against New Day and Rusev. Solid 3 there, and then rounding out the top 3 fights of the night, I probably would have to say was the match with Charlotte and Brie Bella by default. But other than that, all the other matches were really not all that good. We had a dud enhancement fight, with Sheamus and Mark Henry. You can make an argument that Ryback and Bo Dallas was a dud enhancement fight too. And then you had an okay match with Cesaro and the Big Show, and other than that, but really, when it comes to the in-ring work, and then of course that sham of a match with Natalya and Naomi, who by the way both deserve so much better than they get. And then from there, but like I said, when it comes to the in-ring work, the wrestling matches tonight, only 2 really stood out. That of course being John Cena and Seth Rollins, and the 6-man, the Dudleys and the New Day Dudleys and Ziggler against the New Day and those were the only 2 matches that really stood out to me as wow. But another one of the reasons why I'm giving it the score that I'm giving it is because that unbelievable segment, with Paige cutting off that work shoot promo, which I thought was just amazing, and that's one of the reasons why I'm giving it the score that I am. Because I was not expecting. I was expecting that he would turn on us, but I was not expecting that work shoot promo. That was just absolutely out of right field and well done. Entertainment is more entertaining when a performer does something unexpected and out of nowhere. That's an old Tony proverb right there. So there you go. And yes, that's what made that segment of the night. Paige's work shoot promo. Even though I also love that moment with Charlotte and Ric Flair, that was good stuff too. But Paige was the star of that segment. Let's not kid ourselves. And then of course that opening segment. How great was it to see the Wyatt family, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and a returning Randy Orton on that opening segment instead of the usual same old story, same old song and dance being, of course, Seth Rollins and or the Authority. So. Man, was that a breath of fresh air or what? That's another reason why I'm giving it the score I'm giving it. Because they did something unpredictable for the opening segment and instead of the usual Rollins, Authority, or even Cena stuff. So I was more than pleased with that. So there you go. Solid, but not overly spectacular edition of Raw once again. And unfortunately for the last few weeks, it's been back to reality. I hate reality. Let's get it back to where we once had it. When we were getting spoiled with those consistently good shows. Monday Night Football, people, come on. Come on, WWE. It's Monday Night Football, your biggest threat. Come on. And not to mention the primetime shows, The Voice, Dancing with the Stars, blah, 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 and all that. Wake up. Get that. 5.5 to 6 out of 10. Michael Bullock, do you have it higher, lower, what?
I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. I agree with you on everything you said. It was nice to actually get the Wyatt family to open up the show. That's a breath of fresh air instead of a usual Authority or Seth Rollins shtick that we get. Of course, some of the matches were good. I mean, that six-man tag team match, the main event for the U.S. Championship, and I mean everything else. I mean, all the promos were good, and but some of the matches there were basically meh. So yeah, so really got nothing more to say except 6 out of 10 for me. So Fletcher, your thoughts?
I can only give it a 50-50 show. 5 out of 10 for me. I think it could have been a lot better in certain areas. I think it was just it was okay for what it was worth. A couple of fights really stood out. The six-man tag team fight, the main event, really stood out in my mind. Of course, the great shoot promo by Paige that really got the IWC buzzing here tonight. But other than that, there was really nothing more that would have really made the show even watchable for me, to say the very least. But luckily for them, I thought tonight's Monday Night Football game was unwatchable, at least in my eyes. So, I mean, all in all, not a great night for WWE, but I think they're going to get away with it because of the fact, like I said, the Monday Night Football game was expected to be somewhat of a decent game, and it turned out to be, like I said, boring, almost a dribble more than anything else. So, nothing more to say. It's 5 out of 10 for me. Let's wrap this up.
And I just want to, I also want to do one more thing real quick, and that is Thursday night on SmackDown, we got a tag team match, boys. Ryback and Dolph Ziggler going up against the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens and Rusev. Now that should be an interesting tag match come Thursday night. So, of course, we'll read all about that around this time tomorrow night when the spoilers for SmackDown come out. So yes, now that's going to put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. And of course, there is another dirt sheet I just came across, and this is one that I really have to share with you guys. Chris Jericho will be back through Royal Rumble WrestleMania season because there's no reason to turn him heel just to be a house show guy. So it was reported that Brian Alvarez mentioned on the Wrestling Observer Radio that Chris Jericho will be turning heel shortly to start a program with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. And he'll be back through Royal Rumble WrestleMania season. So we'll see what happens with that. So, okay. Of course, time now for our shout-outs, as always, on the Wrestling Forum. You know the routine. Bullock starts it, then it goes to Fletcher, and then I'll set up the future content. So, Michael Bullock, let's start it off with your shout-outs real quick.
All right. We thank you all so very much for tuning in for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Yeah, of course, shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. Doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. Of course, shout-outs to our super fans, Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hicksonbaugh. Of course, shout-outs to our friends from our high school days, Al Brederson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaisa Butler. Of course, to Derek Ferreira, who continues to be the social media ambassador for Monday Night Football, and yeah, another shocking outcome. The Jets once again win, and they go into Indianapolis and beat the Colts 20-7, and basically the Jets they start off the season 2-0, while the Colts, after all the off-season additions, basically fall to 0-2, and yeah, we'll definitely talk about that when it comes to Strictly Sports NFL Saturday this Saturday night. So shout out to you, Derek, and continue work, whether it's with your being the social media ambassador for Monday Night Football, or with your success on the sports blog. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout outs Friday night on Strictly Sports College Football Friday. So until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. And of course, God bless and be good to each other. So, yeah, so with that being said, I'm just going to give it to Fletch for his shout-outs.
All right, guys. First off, thank you so much for everything. As always, you guys are the best fans in the world. Special shout outs to all of our friends from the junior high and high school days. You guys already know who you guys are. I want to give a special shout out to the super fans out there. You guys already know who you guys are, and I have to say that I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Thank you for watching our recap video last night. Actually, a very well response to the recap video as well. I was very pleasantly surprised with the turnout from the crowd. So thank you so much, you guys. It really means so much to myself, to Anthony, to Mike Bullock when you do watch our videos because that just means that hopefully you are entertained and hopefully we are giving you the best possible in professional wrestling. I know there's a lot of other people on YouTube, a lot of other people that does this and gets a lot of great response. But for you guys to show us the love, even though we don't have it is the Wrestling Foreign name, but for especially for Anthony or for Mike Bullock or even myself, to do it on our own and do it the way that we like to do it and to get the the incredible response on our recap video. It means the world to us. So I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome, and please keep it up. Please like our videos, leave comments, give us your thoughts about the shows each and every week. We're not is there something that you liked on Raw that maybe we might have missed, and so always be. We would like to be as interactive as we can be. Be very. We're really open about about viewer feedback a lot of times. So with that said, thank you so much, and until then, I will see you guys Friday night. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I do want to do a couple of things. First off, I want to say I know a lot of people were wondering, hey Mike, where's that Miami Dolphin recap video? I've just been a little busy. Plus, I needed to process what happened on Sunday. I could, my mind and my conscience could not let me do it on Sunday. So I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It will be up. Normally you get that Monday morning quarterback. You just wanna, get a day or two to dissect and then go. So we got that coming up, and then um, there is something I have lined up personally for me. Um, I'll keep you posted on that because I got a project in mind of bringing back the Ranger Roundup. But that might be, I might think about doing a weekly show with that. Basically, maybe every Tuesday night. And what it's going to be is, well, I'll explain it. I'm not going to do it here tonight. I'll explain that when I do my Miami Dolphin recap video tomorrow, and then I'll get into more details about that. So until tonight, I'm Mike Fletcher. You know the routine. Hustle Ham Hounds. I'm out. Good night. Anthony, take it home.
Yeah, and so you'll be on Friday night, right, Fletch? You'll be on Friday night for college football?
Confirmed. Ready to go.
All right. Michael Bullock, I'm sure we can count you among us too.
Count me in.
All right, so yeah, at least you two guys will be there. Hopefully, we can have Derek Ferrer for that for Friday night and have the whole band together. But like I said, before I get into the featured content, of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports as ridiculously over as they are. We appreciate it as always. And Fletch, you just said it. I mean, I just checked. Here's the thing. Michael Fletch's the recap video that we did on Michael Fletch's channel, 38 views. That's pretty good, but not as good as the view count I have on the preview video that I did with Michael Bullock the other night. You had 38 views, Fletch. 84 views for the preview video. Can you believe that? Wow. I cannot believe that the preview video would actually draw more views than the recap. I mean, that's kind of surprising, but yeah, 84 views on that, 38 views for the recap with Fletch. So, but like Fletch said, it's a testament to all you great fans out there who want the best, insider, knowledge and expertise, and that's it. And that's what we're giving you. We're giving you our expertise. So, because that's what we do, and that's what we've been wanting to do since we were little boys. So yes, thank you all so very much for tuning in, not just for that and the recap, but also to this show tonight. For those of you who did, of course, special shout out to all of our our super fans, Didi Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family. Of course, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniel Chubb in the UK, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Albert Raderson, Rob Parsons, and last but certainly not least, our Imperial Grand Poobah, the Hardcore Pipe Bomb, and social media liaison for Monday Night Football, the one and only Mr. Derek Ferreira. Hopeful that we'll have him on for Friday night, and hopefully even Saturday. That'd be even better. But of course, that's it for the shout outs. I'll save the rest of mine for Friday night as always, and of course, future content Friday night, 10:30, right back here on this channel, the Tone 25. I'll be here. Michael Fletcher will be here. Michael Bullock will be here. Hopefully, Derek Ferreira will be here as well. We can have the whole band together for the Week 4 edition of Strictly Sports College Football Friday. 19 games, gentlemen. 19 top 25 games to go down, as well as our power rankings, and of course, headlined by not one but two huge matchups in the Pac-12 conference, guys. It's not all about the SEC. Oh no, it's about the Pac-12. Two big headliners: UCLA against Arizona, and Utah against Oregon. So that's two huge Pac-12 games right there, and all the other great college football action around there. And get this, Fletch and Bullock. I know you're going to be even more happy when I tell you this. We're even going to talk about your Michigan Wolverines, because they're going to be playing a ranked team. They're playing against BYU this weekend at the Big House. So I know you boys are going to be more than ready to go to talk about your Michigan Wolverines. So, oh yeah, Notre Dame and Ohio State, a whole lot more. And the power rankings. Oh, by the way, folks, major, and I do mean major shakeups when it comes to the power rankings. So that's Friday night. And then Saturday night, of course, Week 3 edition of NFL Saturday, the 15 remaining games of Week 3, and of course the power rankings there. There will definitely be some shakeups on that too. So there you go. So that will do it. That'll put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. Thank you all so much for tuning in. So until Friday night for Strictly Sports College Football Friday, it's ridiculously over Anthony Floyer here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, and our Hardcore Pipe on Derek Ferreira, saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Forest style. And have a great rest of the week, everyone. And until Friday night for College Football Friday, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Floyer. So long.